community watchdog is in the house. This is The Schilling Show with your host, former city councilor Rob Schilling, on News Radio 98.9 and AM 1070 WINA.
Rob Schilling's a freedom fighter. He's a brave man. He's an honest man.
All right, into the final segment of The Schilling Show for today. Dan Karr joins us, an insurance industry watchdog, the founder of ValChoice, and the topic today, in our remaining minutes, getting the best insurance value. That's such a hard thing to do. Dan Karr, welcome to The Schilling Show, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
All right, we have a limited amount of time, but I think it's important to talk about your motivation getting into this, because you're doing a favor to a lot of people who don't know how to figure out how they're getting good value. But you had your own incident, your backstory, hit by a car in 2007. What did that do to you?
Yeah, so I was on a bicycle. I was hit by a car. Had a number of injuries. I was taken by ambulance to Stanford Hospital intensive care unit. And my focus was 100% on just recovering physically for a long time, until I started getting collection letters in the mail saying if I didn't pay these medical bills, they'd take me to collections. And I was shocked. It's like, how could this happen? I thought that only happened if you weren't insured. I had what I thought was good health insurance.
Yeah.
The driver that hit me was 100% at fault, had insurance, and I had underinsured motorist. Nobody would pay my bills.
So you embarked on a long fight, and I think you eventually were able to get that together. But as a result of that, you decided there needs to be a better way to get some information about insurance and the value of insurance, more transparency. Tell us how that came into being. Yeah,
so as I walked out of the last meeting with attorneys from the insurance company, I was frustrated. I looked at my attorney and I said, this shouldn't happen to anybody. And I didn't believe it could happen to anybody before it happened to me. I vowed to dedicate myself to making sure it didn't happen to anybody else. And I'm fortunate I have a background in mathematics and a variety of things that kind of pertain to this, and a technology background. So I started looking at, well, first I wrote a book called Insured Money. And while I was writing the book, I got the idea, what we need is transparency. We need to let consumers know which companies are good about paying claims and which companies aren't. And so I found where I could collect the data, all from industry sources, so state insurance regulators and people that roll up that data. And I figured out a way to analyze companies to show which are best and which are worst. It's all relative to other companies about paying claims and what their service level is like. And then have moved on from there. That service can be found available for free on ValChoice.com. And now we've also moved on and built price calculators as well. So somebody can, usually at the beginning of their shopping experience, they're thinking about price. They can go there and see, well, what's a fair price based on where I live? And the shocking thing that came out of price calculators was that in car insurance, the same person with the exact same car and driving record and everything, between two different companies, in one place they might pay $1,000 a year, another place it might be $4,000 a year.
Wow.
But even more surprising, the one that's the highest price likely isn't any better at their claims handling. And so this is all information that's never been available before to consumers.
We've got about a minute left. What's the biggest mistake that people make when they're purchasing home or auto insurance? So maybe the different answers for each, but in about a minute, Dan.
I think there's two things. I think one, just because a company advertises on TV a lot doesn't mean that you should build trust with that company. Advertising is very different than performing. I did a calculation that the two companies involved in my accident, based on billion-dollar advertising budgets, could have paid my claim 24,000 times, but didn't. So, don't trust a company based on seeing them on TV a lot, and don't focus only on price. Go think about value. The very good quality insurers typically aren't the highest price. They're often kind of middle of the road. So you can get a good quality product just by going to ValChoice.com and looking at, learning about your insurance. It's easy to do.
Yeah, there's such a tremendous amount of money going on. And I've got to say, one of the insurance companies in particular, it starts with a P, has probably the funniest commercials of anybody in the entire advertising business. But it's really, again, no reason to base your purchase on is that someone has a good advertising agency.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's a good takeaway.
All right. Dan Karr, thank you so much for joining us today on The Schilling Show. I know you're helping a lot of people, and I hope people will take advantage of the opportunity at ValChoice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have
All
a great
right.
weekend.
Okay, thank you. All right.